Welcome to the next video, and as we wait for some wind to do my favorite kite surfing, today I'm gonna introduce you to the Kite which I started to use recently, which is the Ozone V3, that's Ozone Enduro. With all that being said, let's have a look. Alright, we're here at the spot at the moment, and as you can see, this is the open sea, so that's the Baltic Sea. And normally what I like to do is I come further down, just there, closer to the entrance to the beach. So this part used to be an army beach where people didn't have access to. This is the residue of the fence which was separating the public beach from the army beach. And as you can see here, we've got some space today between the fence itself and the edge of the water, but this distance between the fence and the water kind of changes because sometimes when the waves are bigger and it's more windy, now this water is getting pushed all the way here, and you get at times situation where all these rocks are basically covered with water. This is also the old plate for the information board, which will tell you that the access is prohibited and things like that. So just follow me and I'll show you this area here, that when the waves, like I said just earlier, bigger and it's much more windy, the water comes all the way here. So we can have a look at these rocks, and all that is covered with water. And also check out this sign here. You can see how rusty it becomes from the salty sea and then the water, and it's just rust. And as you can see, now this area is fully accessible for public and for just civilians, which people do utilize that opportunity because this is a great and amazing beach. Just have a look at it. Look how wide this is, all this area here. By the way, just there is the harbor where you've got the ships coming in and going out. All right, let's crack open this Kite. Here's the Kite already pumped. As you can see, this is the Ozone Enduro in the 9-meter size. That's the 9 square meters. And we've got this nice reddish kind of pinkish color. Here we've got the Ozone graphic also on one of the tips. This is 2022 model, and as you can see, it looks fantastic. It's great, and I'm going to show you something very interesting about this Kite. First things first, on the tips we've got the adjustments, and as you can see, it says here bar pressure plus or turn speed to that side. So if you want the Kite to respond much quicker during turns, like for me in wave riding, this settings is for me. Then this is like a medium settings, and if you want more bar pressure, you want to feel the tension on the bar more, you would put it up the leading edge. You can also see here that this is a 3 struts Kite. There's one on the left hand side, one in the center just here, and one on the right hand side. All right, now I'm going to show you the cool stuff about this kite which I mentioned a few seconds ago. So if we look on the leading edge here, what we'll see that we can adjust the settings even further. So not like in your standard kite when you've got the tips, sometimes this center lines as well you can adjust around the pigtails, but this kite, as you can see here, it allows you to set it for wave, foil, free ride and freestyle. So because I'm riding strapless and waves, I've got it set to wave and foil. So I've got on these knots which are closest to the leading edge. In my opinion, this kite is a great piece of gear. When I'm riding waves, it depowers fantastically, and also I did try the freestyle settings, so when you want to do some jumps and things like that, it does have nice hang time and it pulls quite nicely. So it's very forgiving, very user-friendly type of kite, and I would especially recommend this kite to all the people who are kind of like more of on a chilled or beginning kind of stages, just because it's so forgiving and user-friendly. And in any event, even more advanced and more demanding riders will enjoy this kite because it's just great at performing whatever settings you choose to have it at. If you're still a little bit unsure about the quality of this gear, Ozone has a few messages for you which they printed on this kite. So let's have a look what it says. It says here, you define the limit. And also here we've got another message which says, inspired by nature, driven by the elements. Enduro V3. 100% recommended to all of you. I'm gonna also show you a very cool way to fold your kite, and I want all of you to tell me in the comments below how many of you is folding the kite in such way. Today there isn't much wind, so it's much easier to do that when we've got much more wind. But as you saw, after I deflated the kite, I'm basically flipping it to one side. So one tip goes over the other tip, and now we end up in this position where the kite is already folded in half. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna straighten this up. And as you can see now, my kite is already halfway. So now what I would do, I would just fold from this side, and I have the kite folded in like a sandwich. And the reason why I do that is because one thing, is much quicker, instead folding the kite from one side and then folding the kite from the other side. But also when your kite is, for example, wet, then by deflating, once you holding the kite in your hands and then flipping one side over the other side and then resting the kite on the sand, for example, like here, you're only gonna mess up with sand the bottom part, and the top part is gonna be clean. So that kinds of save you as well having to then deal with a messy kite after your session or when it comes to drying it. And as you saw for yourself, he's very quick, nice and pleasant. Let's get back to the house because it's quite cold and the wind is not here, so there's no point messing about with the kites. But guess what? Tomorrow there should be some wind, so I'm gonna be out and kiting. All right. The backpack, which you also get with this kite, is nice and big, so it fits the kite nicely. I had my hand out of the glove because I was filming, choosing different settings on the camera, and it gets a little bit numb. So with all that being said, as always, remember, be inspired, be creative, and be active. I am Lassom. I'll see you soon. On to the next one.